What's the reaction been then in Ukraine to this attack, the consequences of it in terms of lives lost and, of course, the injuries to those impacted?
Yes, good morning, Tom. Well, as you've said, this was one of the most serious attacks on Ukraine since the start of the war, and there have been further missile attacks overnight, in fact, on the western city of Lviv, much further away from Poltava. So Russia is clearly demonstrating that it retains the capacity to launch sustained attacks on Ukraine, and Ukraine is saying that this presents two challenges. First, that they need the promised deliveries of air defences so that they can safeguard their cities and people against these attacks. And secondly, that there's a larger argument that it's all very well to defend against attacks, but they need to be able to strike back at the source, as they would put it, of the attacks on Russian airfields deep inside Russia that are used to launch missiles and to launch planes that carry out these attacks on Ukrainian cities.
Tony, what is we see this push from Ukraine, and we've seen it consistently through this conflict. They want more weaponry and they want the ability to strike harder at Russia. And then you get a corresponding move and agreement months later, often from their allies and those who support them in terms of the hardware and the personnel as well. Where are we in terms of giving Russia or Ukraine the ability to strike further into Russia then, those longer range attacks? Are we getting any closer in Washington, in Europe, on allowing Ukraine to have that ability?
Yes, I mean, this is one of the most pressing debates at the moment, Tom. There's a meeting of Ukraine and its allies in Germany on Friday, and that's bound to be on the agenda. And there's a very clear division. Some allies are nervous about giving carte blanche to Ukraine to strike where it wishes inside Russia. They're fearful of an escalating response from Russia that may eventually end up with some sort of nuclear response. But others are much more gung-ho. They say that the only way for Ukraine to defend itself properly is to go on the attack in this way and to strike at Russia's ability to even launch these attacks. And in that way, they'll raise the pressure on Vladimir Putin to come to the table for some kind of negotiated settlement.